Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Ryan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, PayPal's usually the best bet. You can also join my Patreon, and I do have a Cash App. Just people have asked about those. All of those are in the links down in the info box. There to the side, wherever it's at on YouTube nowadays. It could be for a topic, reaction, commentary, review of a movie, a re-review, trying out a video game for an hour, a full let's play, wherever the case may be. And yeah, the video for today is Julie Darling from either 1982 or 1983. Depending where you go, it says a different year. And I had never heard of this film before, but it's directed by a guy named Paul Nicholas. Sybil Danning, who was in Howling 2, among others. She's in the film, but she doesn't pop in until a bit later in the film. Instead, it stars this actress who plays the character Julie. I think the same actress was in, Meatballs 3? I think she was in Meatballs 3. I think she was the girl that liked the lead guy, but the lead guy wanted the hot girl. Shannon tweeted first, but then realized that, she's really the girl for her. For him, I mean. Well, nowadays it'd be for her. So anyway, this Julie, she is still in school. She loves her dad a lot, but she's not really big on her mom, and vice versa. She really loves her snake. The mom really hates this snake. And the mom is talking about how we need to send her to private school, and she's a menace, and the dad is much more forgiving, it's much more reasonable. And I think you tell Julie loves her dad, maybe a bit too much, but not so much her mom. In a weird way, this film reminds me of a film I reviewed not too long ago called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. Although that one, I would say I liked a bit more. Maybe because of Susan Tyrrell's performance, and then you have Bo Svensson, and the lead guy is a bit more likable in his innocence. So that would put above this, but it's kind of trying to be in that same vein. Anyway, boarding school is where the mom wants to send her to. She's very unhappy about that. And she's also doing things at the mom where this delivery guy comes in with groceries, and she makes the guy take the snake and put it out somewhere. Now, Gray, I don't know what response she thought she was going to get. So, of course, the daughter comes home and she's pissed, saying, "I hate you," all this stuff. I don't know what the mom expected. Did she expect a handshake, a thank you, a piece of pie? I don't know what she expected. Long story short, the delivery guy comes back. He thinks she was flirting with him, so he tries to take what he wants by force. There's a struggle. Julie hears this, gets the gun, aiming the gun, but doesn't shoot. And during the struggle, the guy slams the mom down. She hits her head. She's bleeding. She dies. The guy gets away, and Julie still doesn't shoot the gun. Now, granted, she could have still shot the gun, and just the idea is that she waited until he did that, then he did it, and then there'd be a hell of a better alibi, but it says she lets the guy go, and the idea is that Julie is not so much of a darling. She's a pretty big scumbag. She hated her mom so much because of these things. She let her mom die. I still don't know why she wouldn't just kill the guy, even for her own selfish means of, well, you tried to do something. But I did that maybe at the moment she had in that, just there needs to be a plot, and she hadn't thought that far ahead, and that character comes back later, that delivery guy. And it's not until we're probably, if not 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that, that the dad which I don't really get much of his distraught. I don't know about this actor who plays the dad. There are times where it seems like he should be a lot more broken down. And he seems to play a lot more cool than he should. While a lot more low key than you think he should. Like, this is your wife who died, and something else happens at the end. It's like, shouldn't you be showing a bit more emotion? But and also, I'm not sure about the Julie. I mean, I didn't mind the actress. Just sometimes she seemed a bit off. She's definitely no Susan Tyrrell, playing crazy and Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker. Like, she was fine, the girl who played Julie, but again, sometimes it seemed... I don't know if her being off, maybe that's just supposed to be how the character is, and if so, okay, good, or it's just... I'm not as familiar with her as with her acting. I barely remember Meatballs 3. I probably haven't seen that since I was 10 years old, 12 years old, so... The only Meatballs I remember is the first one and bits of the second where there's an alien and there's like a boxing match. I think Meatballs 4 had Corey Feldman for some reason. But anyway. Getting more into spoilers. Sybil Danning comes in. She's the new girlfriend for the dad. She has a son of her own. The son really wants a Dr. Pepper. I'm like, why do you want that I mean, a lot of people like Dr. Pepper, to be honest. I don't know why, because I think it tastes like ass. Not like this, which is much more sophisticated. Just some fruit. I know it's still Mountain Dew, but still is fruit. Popping cherries out here. Cheer popping people's assholes. But, yeah. Because they even do the Would You Like to Be a Pepper Too, which was a big commercial back in the day. Which actually the guy who started a lot of those commercials was the same guy who starred in An American Werewolf in London. That guy, and I forgot his damn name. But the lead guy who was turned into a werewolf, and I can't believe I forgot his damn name. Of course, can you blame me? He hasn't done a movie in probably 10 years. And if he has, no one knows it. But I do remember those commercials. Would you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper. You're a pepper. It's a catchy commercial, I'll give you that. But they reference that. I'm like, that'd be funny if this was sponsored by Dr. Pepper. If you have feelings for your dad, you want to fuck his brains out, have a Dr. Pepper. It'll spice your life and your sex life. Incest style. And the film does go into the creepy aura of exploitation where you do get to see Sybil Danning's titties. So that's a plus. Beautiful lady. And she was in Howling 2. You know what? I actually like Howling 2 for how bad it is. It's fun. It's actually my favorite Howling film. Because you got Sybil Danning and you got Reb Brown yelling and shooting werewolves in the face. Sometimes that's all you need. I need Sybil Danning being hot. I need Reb Brown yelling, ah! And shooting werewolves in the face. And you got Christopher Lee. So, sometimes you only need a couple things. I remember the soundtrack being kind of fun. So, that really is the only Howling film I liked. Well, the fifth or sixth one I remember being okay. But I don't even like the first Howling. I mean, it's got good special effects. That's the only thing I liked are the special effects. I much prefer American Wolf in London, Dog Soldiers being my favorite, Silver Bullet I liked a lot more. Again, the Howling I could never get into the story. I could never get into the characters. The ending I thought was goofy. Not because of the acting, but because of the effects where she turned into, it's a werewolf, but she looked like a dog that a woman in Beverly Hills would have on her, carrying like this. Just looks, that kind of ruined the whole effect of the ending, like trying to be very emotional, and here's this little fluffy puppy looking dog. I'm sorry, I'm going off tangent. You can disagree. We agree to disagree. But when I'm saying again to the creepy aura, she sees Sybil Danning have her sex with her dad, and then In spoilers, she imagines herself. Now, granted, the actress was about 20 at the time, thus, to be legal. But the idea is she's supposed to be playing a much younger person, but she was 20 at the time. It's not like today where it'd be like cuties where, well, actually, do I have a 12-year-old? I would, I would bet there would be a movie that would do that as long as you don't show nudity. It's like they'll do that and put a 12-year-old in there and be like, it's for art. Because that's how society and Hollywood is nowadays. And that's the thing. That's why back in the day, oh, well, how come they hired adults to... Because they wanted... If people are going to be kissing or looking like they're having sex, they want to have 20-year-olds do it. And they look younger, so they seem like they're younger characters. But people don't get that, apparently. Granted, yes, they also did it for child labor laws, but I mean, it's much more responsible to do it that way, too. So she imagines having sex with her dad while Sybil Danny's actually doing it. She plays hide and seek with Sybil Danny's boy, locks him in a fridge, he almost suffocates. She's brought in because it looks like they caught the guy that shot her mom. She doesn't ID the guy. Then she goes up to him and offers, I want you to kill my stepmother. Now, other than the bit with the hide and seek with the boy, which I thought was decently suspenseful because I didn't know whether the boy would live or die because it could go either way, where either she's distraught and it brings her closer to this guy, which screws up her plans, or something else will happen. So, since it seems like a film that could go either way, that brought a little bit of suspense, at least to me. The little boy, for how little he's in it, he does fine. He's not annoying or anything. Sybil Danny, I thought, did a pretty decent job for what little she had. She doesn't get to do a whole lot with her character, but she's trying to bond with Julie. She's trying to be nice. She's trying to be understanding. She's not giving off anything of bitchy or anything unlikable about her. There's not a lot you get to know about her character or her backstory, or where she came from, or what happened to like her previous husband. If they touch on that, I forgot. I apologize. But it does get a bit slow in the middle, kind of waiting for the next thing to happen. The dad, really, his journey is being oblivious to everything. He's oblivious to his daughter. He's oblivious to what happened to his wife. He's just completely Captain Oblivious. Might as well be his damn name. I will say that, again, the girl who played Julie, overall, I would say I don't mind her. Sybil Danny and I liked. The story was interesting enough for me to see where it was going, and I didn't mind the ending. I thought the ending was pretty decent. As for overall, I don't mind the film. Again, I do think Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and various other films were better than this, but if you like those early 80s, having a touch of exploitation type of films, it's worth one watch, but it's nothing I would ever watch again. I would say it's okay, but I've seen a lot of worse movies, so maybe I'm being lenient on it. But the ending I liked, and I'm going to spoil that right now. The ending kind of, I don't want to say saved the movie for me, but definitely my favorite part. The guy goes in, fights with Sybil Danning, throws her out the window. You think she's dead. Then he's going to go for Julie, because, hey, I did this, I'm going to get the money, and then I'm going to kill you with no witnesses. But first, I'm going to have some fun with you. She takes a piece of broken bottle, broken glass, whatever, stabs him in the groin. He's all bleeding. Then goes ahead, gets the gun, and shoots him, kills him. And then she's down again, prepped up and propped up, and she's gonna wait for her daddy to come home. She hears the doorbell, thinking, "Oh, it's daddy." She opens it. She has this look on her face, and then she gets stabbed, and it's Sybil Danning. Sybil Danning stabs her and kills her, but she knows the truth. She knows what happened. The guy even said, "I'm gonna kill you. Your stepdaughter wanted me to do it." And what I liked about it is the dad comes home and he sees his daughter dead, bleeding, and you would think he'd be like breaking down, but he's kind of just like, "What happened?" Like, it just wasn't the reaction I was thinking of. And then Sybil Danning, she has like the tears coming down, and goes, "She saved my life." So she lied. So I like that idea that, okay, I'm going to play her game. Just like she lied, about stuff. Not granted, I don't think she knows that, she lied about what happened to her mom. Like, she didn't shoot. He could have saved her, she could have saved her, but didn't. Just the idea that I can't really blame Sybil Danning for doing this. I mean, I would probably do the same thing she did. Where there's a guy dead upstairs, we'll blame it on the guy. I'm not going to tell the truth. Because if I said she's a killer, he won't believe me. If I said she tried to do this, he won't believe me. If I said I killed her, I would go to jail. I'm like, this bitch tried to kill my son, tried to kill me. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to tell her dad to her face, "She's a great person, she saved my life, And then, and that's the way it is. So, I don't know, something about that, the way Sybil Danning played it, I did like that. I thought that was kind of a satisfying way to end it. That, she kills the daughter, and she's like surprised, and what? And then, I mean, gets away with it. And that's kind of the smarter way to get away with it. And the way, things were back in the day, forensics were not like how it is nowadays. Of course, nowadays forensics would be looking at fingerprints and look at where people were and wait, you said you were here, but the forensics say you were here and the finger. It's not that way in 1982, 1983. So it makes you wonder how many people got away with murder, which they would not have gotten nowadays, but they did back in the day. Probably a lot more than you want to think about. So it's not a lot of action. It's not a body count movie. I guess technically there'd be only 3. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a standout performance, but I think Sybil Danning would be my favorite in the flick. The dad, he's just oblivious and an idiot. Of course, Julie is our main antagonist. So like I said, it has a couple scenes that are interesting enough. Again, the hide and seek bit, the scene where the mom dies, the ending bit. Like I said, if you see the trailer intrigues you, sure. That's something that I do see why this went under the radar for me and why I never heard it before, because I never heard anyone talk about it. And maybe it's like a curiosity piece for that time period, but nothing monumental, at least to me. At least to me. But did I think it was awful? No. It went, wasn't 2 hours or anything. I don't think the acting was garbage. It's definitely telling about a character who's definitely a bit fucked in the head. Like I said, I think because it's so fresh in my mind, because I saw that film not too long ago, Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, because I also was someone who is a parent and incest, only here the kid is the psycho and not the parent. That's still fresh. That one had a bit more to it, a bit more meat to the bones. But in this, it was there. It was, It was fine for one watch. But thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.